What's going on, guys? Sync-WaVey back again with some more Gundam Battle Operations 2. And today we're going to be showcasing the top 10 raids at 550, 600 costs. And there's only one 500 cost in this, but I think like he deserves to be up here just because how powerful he is. I would have put him up higher if he was a 550. But anyway, at number 10, we have the Gundam Pixie. This suit wouldn't be up here if Desert Gelgoog had a 550 variant. Like, if it just wouldn't. Like, the Desert Gelgoog has level 2 stealth, it's a ranged suit, you know, it's got the heavy stagger. I feel like it's more obnoxious than the Pixie can be, but it gets the space because, you know, left untouched, the Pixie is devastating. You don't keep your eye on it, like, it will destroy your backline. So yeah, Gundam Pixie gets number 10. You know, he's okay for this at this cost range. Like, I wouldn't say it would be better than Desert Gelgoog. There's just no way. If Desert Gelgoog had a 550 variant, like, it definitely had number 10 spot. So Pixie sneaks in there at number 10 with his stealth. Next up, at number 9, we have the Bolinoak Sammahn. And the Bolinoak is a good suit. You know, it's got camouflage. It's pretty decent from medium range. Very devastating at close range, kind of like a striker custom. But its downfall is it's kind of big. Like, if you do spot it, you know, it's not got a dodge roll. It's gonna get pretty wrecked by a few suits out there. The generals, as soon as they identify they have a Bolinoak on the enemy team, like, it makes it a lot harder for this suit to work. They're gonna keep their eye out for funny looking allies, because that's what he's gonna show up as an ally when he's like moving about. So you can obviously work around that, be kind of stealthy with it. Like, it is a devastating suit, don't get twisted. That's why it's on the top 10 list. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on the top 10 list if it wasn't devastating. Yeah, the melee capabilities are super strong. Its skills are interesting. Not much more I can say. Oh yeah, if they didn't nerf the beam rifle, I would have put it above. I would have put it higher than probably the next suit coming up, and this next suit is actually the 500 cost, which is at number 8, the Striker Custom. So I think you guys know why this suit is up here, even though it's a 500 cost. Like, it's literally the bane of all supports' existence. And this thing will destroy your backline if given a chance in an instant, especially if it's in Demon Blade mode. So this suit is got the instant stun, you know, it's got multiple melee weapons. I mean, the Spark Knuckle, like, that thing can hit Zoc for 10,000 damage. I don't know if you guys knew about that. Like, it will destroy MLRSs, like it literally can destroy all those suits at the higher cost in support range. The only thing that was gonna really stop this, like, are the higher cost, like, generals, right? Maybe the Mark II, the DJ will stop it, you know. Obviously the Zeta, the Ashima will be able to slow it down, but it's still going to destroy the supports if it gets its hand on it. So this suit punches its way to number 8. And at number 7, we have the Gundam Unit 5. Now, see, Striker Custom would have probably been higher than this suit. Like, if it was actually a 550, in my opinion. A lot more survivability with Striker Custom, especially if you're in Demon Blade mode. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. Probably less survivability since you have to be up close to do your thing. But in Demon Blade mode, that's where it has its chance. Gundam Unit 5 is a long range raid. Like, you can just stay back and just pepper you from afar. And with the beam rifle and its really strong beam rifle, the hyper beam rifle, right? And obviously, it's got the Gatling that shoots pretty far, and you can just lay down pressure and you can get spread damage. That's where you see a lot of these suits get high damage, because it's just shooting everything, right? And at number 6, we have the BD2. Would have been higher on the list if it didn't get nerfed back in the day, but this suit was literally like OP when it first came out. Like, it took them a while to actually nerf this suit, but like, if it was back in its old time, like how it was back in the day, it would definitely be better than even some of the suits that we see now, like as like top tier raids. Like, this thing, you know, only took 2 missiles to actually stun the enemy. Now, I don't know if you know, but that's crazy. Like, because you could literally keep 2 people stunned. Like, you shoot someone with the beam rifle, then like you boost towards them, and then you can basically re-stun them with 2 missiles, like downswing them, dash back, hit someone else with 2 missiles, downswing them. But you could probably keep going, you still got 2 missiles left, like, you know, like shoot someone else. And like, this suit could literally take on generals back in the day, like no problem. Like, no problem. There's not many suits now that can do that. Not many suits. Probably some of the suits up in the list, higher in the list, could probably do that, but not as well as BD2, because BD2 could literally move and like hit you, force injectors. Exam mode just made it a little bit more crazy, and exam mode got nerfed. That was, you know, really strong. Like, it literally had 100 melee strength when it was in exam mode. If you had at least 50 melee. So yeah, BD3 at number 6. And we have the G3 at number 5, because I feel like this is a difficult one, BD2 or G3, and I'm just gonna put G3 up here just because how much more versatile. Like, he's got the long range and he can do close range, and you know, they buffed him so many times, he literally became super strong. Like, he can hang it up there at all cost ranges. Like, what, 550, 600 as well. Like, you can chill with the boys with the transformable mobile suits, you know, and really do some damage. I mean, when they gave him maneuver armor, I thought it was good. Maneuver armor level 2, I thought it was like, that's what it needed. But then they decided to give it a dodge roll and then increase its beam rifle damage and made it charge faster. So now, like, it definitely gets the number 5. Top 5 suits in the game. Top 5 raid. 100%. You could argue that it's better than the next suit coming up, but yeah, G3 gets number 5. And number 4 is the Tetra. The Tetra got buffed as well. They increased its range on its beam rifle. Can't remember what other things they did to it, but they definitely did buff it, made it stronger. And I was debating with a couple of people, well, mainly my friend, to see like who's really better, the Galbaldy Tetra or the GPO2 Beam Bazooka. And yeah, we ended up deciding, and Galbaldy Tetra came off fourth just because like he does have survivability due to he's smaller, he's a lot more nimble on his feet. He can stagger you relatively quickly with a combination of beam machine gun and his Gatling. His Gatling is takes 10 shots to actually stun you, but they can't boost with it. If you could do that, it would probably make it higher. Force injectors, it's got everything that it needs to be a strong raid, and it's more kind of geared to both playstyles, like long range, close range. Like, you can do them both pretty well. And like if you're in it depends on like what you really like, but this suit definitely can tackle. Like if you don't have the suits above, then this suit definitely is good enough to hang. And if you're a good player, you can make most of these suits up here work anyway, so it shouldn't really matter. The 12-5 suits, man, if you're a good player, anyway, any suit on this list, if you're a good player, you can, you're gonna destroy the supports, and you can get past the generals, So that's why all these raid suits are actually even on the list, So we have Galbaldy Tetra at number 4 spot. And at number 3, we have the GPO2 Beam Bazooka. Now this is like, I was really debating if this suit was really better than Galbaldy Tetra. I've had the Beam Bazooka for the longest time. I had it since it came out on the anniversary. I didn't get the Galbaldy Tetra, but I was doing really good with Galbaldy Tetra as well. So it's like it was hard to really compare the two. But at the end of the day, it really came down to his big shield, right? And the fact that he can stun you while boosting, and he has an instant stun. It literally came down to that. Like this suit, if it's knocked down and the shield is above it, it's like hard to get extra damage on it. The shield really can like get in the way. This suit can look after itself pretty easily while boosting and shooting the Vulcans to stun you. If you're trying to chase it down, it has an instant stun Beam Bazooka, and also it charges and it causes piercing. But yeah, this suit is definitely number 3. Like, it's pretty tanky, it's decently fast. Top high speed is 225, which is really good. Like, it's slow, but when you blow its shield off, it becomes fast, and it has a devastating beam saber as well. So yeah, GPO2 at number 3. And next up we have the Hyakushiki, but I haven't got I have a Marvel account, so I can't really show it. That thing, and obviously I want to spoil number 1. That thing, Hyakushiki, is basically Mark II without shield. So, in my opinion, it's better than the Beam Bazooka. just with the pure fact that if this thing gets close to you, it's gonna destroy you. It's got a double dodge roll. It's smaller frame. It's more nimble on its feet. Like the double dodge roll will get it out of sticky situations. Obviously, if you've already used a bit of your thrusters, like you're not really going to be able to use your double dodge roll, but the fact that it's there and you can bait generals with that if they don't know the matchup, the sticky shot and beam rifle will help it in sticky situations, like basically 2 instant stun weapons. The beam rifle is strong, 2400 damage, you know. Yeah, it's got 4 ammo. Yeah, maybe it could do with 5, but it's still good. And the fact that I say it's a Mark II without shield. I mean, beam resistance is 40, ballistic resistance is 23, if I'm not mistaken, 23 or 24, something like that. You can make a really good build of the Hyakushiki. The worst thing that it has is its melee resistance, right? So what you gotta do is stick on the level 4 and level 3 melee resistance if you have those parts. Just make it a tankier suit in its melee resistance, and then work around that, add damage around it, right? With level 4 melee resistance, you still got a few slots to probably put in extra bit of melee in there too, you know, and make it even more devastating, right? The fact that, you know, this suit can actually take on generals. It can take on generals, the Hyakushiki. You might. It doesn't have a shield, so if you get hit, it's gonna take a lot of damage. But that's the fact that why it's got a lot of resistances. If you're always moving, you know, you've got maneuver armor level 2, you technically your beam resistance is max when you're actually boosting, you know. So you pretty much taking no damage. So the Hyakushiki gets number 2 for me. And you know, the pure fact that it's literally devastation, man. It's consistent combos will just carried it up here, you know. The downswing is devastation, man, and you can always hit twice with that downswing. Once you kick them, you can always follow up with another kick, you know. And the 2-part hit always hits. It's going to literally wreck MRSs, just with the fact that the kick is low and like it goes underneath the shield. Like even the shield is above, the kicks go underneath it. Like it doesn't have to worry about hitting the shield because it's gonna hit underneath the shield, you know. So yeah, Shiki at number 2, Mark II without a shield, man. Like what can I say? And obviously number 1, Gundam. It's pretty self-explanatory right here. Transformation, get out of sticky situation. 2 beam rifles, 1 instant stuns, 1 pierces, and burst shots to take out mobile armor modes with the piercing. Its downswing is a 2-part swing that likes to catch people after the dodge roll. Like, so you dodge roll the first part, and then the second part hits you. That's really good, right? And obviously, this thing is pretty nimble. This weakness is that it's not slow. I'm about to say it's slow. The weakness is it is big, but it's got, like, you know, the special arm binders. It's got the skills to actually help it to be a little bit more tanky. And obviously maneuver armor level 2 helps it to be more tanky when it's moving. It's got a dodge roll to help it you know, have survivability, and obviously the transformation obviously helps it for survivability, and also drive-bys. Like, not many people use the mobile armor mode as a drive-by mechanic. You know, fly in there, charging your beam rifles, pierce through a couple of supports, then fly back out and then dodge roll out. You know, it's a hit and run suit that's got all ranges covered. Close range devastating, long range devastating, in the air it's devastating. Gundam, number 1 raid in GVO2. And that is the end of this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. God bless.